Guys, let's switch all the gears. We're not talking about characters anymore. We're talking about best opening. We've got on this list Lupin the Third, Hinamatsuri, Gegege no Kitaro, Golden Kamui, Wotakoi, Legend of the Galactic Heroes, Megalobox, Aggretsuko, and SAO LMNOP.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's gonna be difficult to beat Gegege no Kitaro's opening.
So wrong.
I'm sorry. It's
That
a good
song sucks.
Wow. Damn.
It's the worst.
Damn.
I can't.
Let's put off the hard fight until we absolutely have to.
Oh man. Oh.
I think Legend of the Galactic Heroes is acceptable.
I think it's acceptable too. I wanted to give that its props because I think the song is really fucking good. I love that song. I'm a sucker for the high vocal, sometimes like the soprano Japanese girl singing over war because I like Gundam, and that's all it ever has been.
All I want to say is that if I used that song to wake me up in the morning, I would sleep through my alarm every time.
That's fine.
Counterpoint, if I used that song to go to sleep at night, I would drift off into peace and loveliness.
I don't hate the opening at all, but it never drives me to watch it. I find myself tuning out. Partially because I don't really like the singer all that much.
Oh, I love it. She's not forcing the vocals. She's just singing along very well with the instrumentation when she goes down, like right before the chorus. It's great. It's fun. But everything else about the opening, though, like the animation and stuff from episodes or just like a lot of just static shots.
It's super adequate. That's what it is.
It is just very passable. So I'm not going to fight for it. I just wanted to say I thought it was good.
I don't know why Aggretsuko's is on there. I mean, it's fun. It's clever. It's definitely iconic to the show, but it's not much.
Yeah, largely for the same reasons as Legend of the Galactic Heroes. I kind of wanted to give it its props because it does do the job of an opening of, okay, cool, I know what I'm about to see.
Yeah.
I enjoy this. Let's do it. But yeah, it's...
I also love how it plays into every episode. It starts it starts after the cold open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's some flames in the background and some metal and that silly little head bob dance she does. It's fine. It's not top 2 material.
Oh, yeah, the little head bob dance. I mean, not the cold open. I mean, the cold open is when you just open with the opening, I think. Oh, well, doesn't matter. What's next?
We've got... I'm starting to not know what the easy cuts are anymore. Let's talk about Wotakoi.
Wotakoi's opening is so good.
Wotakoi's opening is incredible.
Fuck.
It is so good. There is just 25 seconds of brilliance when the chorus kicks in and the way everyone's moving and they do all these dynamic fluid shots.
The finger tutting?
The finger shit. They're going so well with the music and the color palette is so distinct and fits the tone of the show to a T. And God, that song is amazing.
It's its use of
framing?
No. Shapes.
Yes. Shapes.
Yeah, individual shapes and colors for every character. Mm-hmm. Like, I love stuff like that. I love customization. I love themes. I love that opening.
I agree with everything you just said about the last half of the opening, and then there's that front half, which I'm just waiting for it to get done so we can get to the good shit.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
because that is the foreplay to the explosion at the end. And
that opening bit is very much generic, and I was like, that's why I was like kind of tuning out to it, and then it picks up and it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I saw that back half, somebody cut out just that part and posted it on Twitter, and that's how I saw it first. And so when I saw the opening as part of the episode the first time, I'm like, what is this? I mean, this is fine, but oh shit, there it is. Okay, now we're talking. So taken as a whole, I'm not sure if it's top 2 material.
Well, okay, let's keep going.
Okay, all right, no, that's fine. I'm also the guy who will roll over on this category in an instant because I seldom feel nearly as strongly as you guys do. Let's talk about one that Scott professed to straight up dislike as of the start of the season. He's warmed up on it, but has he warmed up on it enough? Megalobox's opening.
Yeah, Megalobox's opening was one of those ones where I was like, what is this grunge mess? But then the more I saw it, the more I realized how it synced up to the visuals. I kind of started digging on its vocals. I don't adore it, but I can jam on it. I can get it. I like it. I like it.
The thing that makes that opening for me is the cowbell and Joe smiling at the end.
Oh
It
God,
is so good.
yeah, that is probably the best part of that opening.
Yeah.
And I like. I don't think it's. Yeah, it's overbearing on the imagery, but it looks good.
I'm okay with it being overbearing on
And
the
like,
imagery.
I mean, yeah, you get it. Yeah, he's the stray dog. Get it? He's got a motorcycle. Ugh.
So is the White Wolf supposed to be Yuri?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think
I thought it was going to be Yukiko for the longest time.
I think it doesn't. It's nothing crazy, but I think in the show that it is, its context and its attitude, just that's that show.
So I heard a lot of qualifications there. It's good. It's nothing, but it's good. I didn't hear like the raw passion when I was suggesting Wotakoi might not make the top 2. Like, no, fuck you. I know it's got this stuff that's wrong, but fuck you, it's great.
Dude, those 20 seconds are worth it, man.
I mean, they are really good.
I would say one of the things that kind of damns it is that it is visually not all that appealing.
Yeah.
It's got good stuff. It's got
Yeah.
some good shots, but it has to be taken as a whole, and even then, this is good, like solid stuff.
Yeah, and that's about where I'm at. Like, solid, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's also unique. That's the one thing that stands it out. Is like I don't know if I've ever. It reminds me of Trigon a little bit.
I know, and that's it. It is. And like Trigon, it perfectly sets the tone and environment and setting of the show.
Yeah, but it's hard to compare it to anything else on this list, and that's one of the reasons it's a standout. But I'm not sure it's going to break the top 2 for me. Well, but let's again continue on.
SAOGGO Elemental P. It's a good example of what it is. It's an anime opening ass anime opening.
Yep,
Yes,
it is.
and the animation is through the roof. It's a good song. I think it shows very well everything it's setting up, and it's an anime ass opening that's just pretty good. I think that's kind of for how much that's worth in compared to the other things. I don't think it's a whole lot, but I wanted to give it its due because I think out of all the other openings we've seen, I think that one was just a good ass anime ass opening.
I think it is vastly generic and forgettable.
I would probably be closer to what Kieran just said, but I also don't think it makes the top 2.
No.
Okay.
Sorry, and anybody who's a fan of that song and that opening, sorry.
Yeah,
but
I mean, it's
yeah.
fine. We've got... This is one that I think is a strong contender to the top 2, Lupin the Third.
So this one's a little bit difficult because it is a classic song.
Yeah,
Like
this is-
Lupin the Third. Funny enough, Lupin the Third, this song specifically, didn't happen until the third Lupin. The first 2 had different... I'm not sorry. No. Red...
I feel like I've heard this one, and I don't think I watched.
No,
the
this was
third.
in Red Jacket. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, this was in Red Jacket. The Green Jacket had a different opening. Red Jacket introduced this one. Then Pink Jacket had like 2 different other openings, which were not nearly as good. And then we wouldn't get this opening again until the movies and specials, and then Lupin Part 4. So it's kind of interesting that the Lupin theme that we know was actually, like, for the longest time, only in one of the 3 Lupin series before 4 happened. It was in a bunch of the other movies, but that's different.
Okay.
So you just talked a lot about the song.
The reason I wanted to bring up the song is that it has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
It is a staple of Lupin now.
Yeah.
Everyone knows the song. Everyone can recite the song. It's classic. It's jazzy. It embodies Lupin. We've heard it. It is.
We have heard it, and I do not believe this is my favorite arrangement of it.
No.
It's good. It's fine. It accomplishes what it needs to. It's a little low key, and boy, I like that bombastic Lupin the Third.
And part of that has to do with the fact that it's got this whole French setting.
Right.
It wants to.
Yeah.
It really wants to emphasize that more French tone to it. And you know what? It works. It doesn't. It's not
Yeah.
to its detriment,
Yeah.
but it's not the best version of it. And the best version of the song that I ever heard was actually from Part 4. Actually, the best Lupin opening is from Part 4. Like, if you haven't seen that opening, check out Part 4's opening. Not the shitty international version, not the version we got. It sucks. It's the worst. Find the Japanese opening of Lupin the Third Part 4, because the version we got doesn't even have the song, and it's made up of footage from the show and freeze frames. It's garbage. No, but here, the cool part about it is the visuals.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's got a great visual accompaniment.
I love the style they have going on. Very I don't think there's, if any, very few outlines on things. Just kind of popping.
It introduces the characters. It tells a little story. These are all things that I appreciate.
Yeah.
Here's what you will expect from the episode. You know who everyone is. You know them. You love them. Here they are.
Yeah, and it's just so damn charming. It's ridiculous.
It's really good.
Yep.
Like visually, like the song's a classic. The visuals are great. I almost never skipped this opening, and
Yeah, I watched it every time.
I never skipped the ending, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah. Let's talk about another one that I never skipped. Hinamatsuri. This opening's perfect, and I love it.
This-
It's a
Hinamatsu's
beautiful
opening is
jewel.
Perfect. Yeah.
This opening is, the song is a little okay. It's playing to the theme of the opening, but accompanied with the visuals.
The visuals are
it's
so good.
so dumb and funny. The fact that she, in every shot of Hina, there's the oh god, what was it? Ika? No.
Yeah, Igorobo.
Ikara, yeah, the Ikara bowl. And I'm like, this is, it's basically running it with the toast in her mouth, but with Ikara.
Yeah.
Even in the scene at breakfast where she's eating the Ikara,
Yeah.
you need to put down another bowl of Ikara. Like, as far as visuals go, besides that, it's kind of interesting because it shows these scenes of all the girls crying, like these big emotional shots.
Yeah.
And there's this part of me that was thrown off, like, this opening is almost kind of perfect about Hinamatsuri, because it's one part's funny, one part's oddly like sad, and it changes.
Yeah, it changes, which is interesting. Seeing Udako not be there after that episode was really cool.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like the opening is dynamic and funny and sad and wow.
It kind of captures everything about the show in an incredibly well animated package.
I have a question. Speaking of Hinamatsuri, Hinamatsuri's opening changes visually with what's her name not showing up later.
Yeah.
Does any of the other openings that are on this list do that, and does it make it better or worse?
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think any
Not
other
that I
one
noticed.
did it.
Yeah, I don't think any other opening changes throughout the season.
At least that we saw.
Yeah.
When shows we dropped might have done it. Who knows? But
Also, which one's next?
Golden Kamui.
I love the song for this one.
it's Man on a Mission, dude.
Yeah.
Proven track record.
It's got that, oh man, that English. That English is,
Oh, that's great.
yeah, but I also love it, so I don't know what to do. And I love the actual song. It's not the best song. Well, actually, it might be one of the best actual songs on the list, but
Because they're an actual band.
yeah. But the visuals are good. They're not great.
They're fine.
Yeah.
We get a lot of establishing shots of people just standing there for a bit, and we get that awesome sequence of Asurpa, Sugimoto, and Retar. That's
yeah.
really dynamic and cool.
Running after the wolf.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fun.
That's good.
Oh man. Oh, Retar never got on supporting characters. Damn it. Okay, you know what, Retar, you got my honorable mention for best supporting character right now. I love you, boy. You're a good boy. He's a good boy.
was a good boy.
He's a good boy, Bront.
Good dad.
Good dad.
He's a good dad.
So, but yeah, there's not a whole lot to say. Good rock tune,
Yeah.
decent visuals. I enjoyed it. I actually don't skip it. So that's another thing.
This is more of it's a shonen ass, anime ass opening, but it has a really good song.
yeah.
Yeah.
Reminds me of a Naruto opening.
Oh yeah, you know
I
what?
could see that a little.
Yeah.
So, at this point,
Did we go through them all?
yeah, we've given everything at least a moment at this point.
Okay, then I'm gonna give one that I didn't want to put on the list.
Okay.
I love the new My Hero opening. Don't at me, but fight me. But don't at me.
It's a bad song. The visuals are whatever.
I'm gonna have to put in my 2 weeks.
The only
Thanks.
one on this list that I feel like super strong about that I'm like, we fucked up somehow if it's not in that top 2 is Hinamatsuri.
Absolutely. No, Hinamatsuri's opening is amazing.
So, you're gonna fight me now?
Yep.
I didn't know you hated the Gegege no Kitaro opening.
It's dog shit.
Oh wow.
It's absolute dreck. It is the most boring piece of shit I've ever seen. Like that show.
God damn.
I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess you like the opening, but I always wait till this segment where we can actually yell about it. Because what is good about that opening? Tell me.
First of all, I love the Enka style singing. I absolutely adore its tune. It's very catchy. It reminds me a lot of like 50s, 60s anime stuff. And the visuals that line up with it are actually like, in certain shots, are really pretty. I dig its use of visuals, especially because it's got some very lazy, like laying back in the tub, and using it as a hot spring, little daddy eye dude.
Yeah, yeah.
And the when it hits the Byoki mo nani mo nai, and it has the Rat King singing with it, and it matches up so cutely.
Oh, yeah, when he comes in.
Yeah, I love it. I never skipped it. Okay, I only watched it a couple times, but I put that shit on in my car and I started singing along with it because I just love it. It's so cute and fun and reminds me of just old classic anime stuff.
Yeah, it is the perfect opening for the kind of show that it is for something for kids, something catchy, something instantly accessible. Hey, did you know that ghosts don't have to go to school or anything?
Yeah, and they don't get sick.
Yeah, because they're dead.
But see, that's like, I love it. I thought it was so much fun. I'm sorry.
It's so boring.
Who hurt you?
Who hurt me? Who made this? Toei, actually. Yep, Toei hurt me.
Well, I'm familiar with that. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna fight you on it, but I love it. How did you feel? Like you kind of echoed my sentiments, but do you feel as strongly about it?
I don't feel so strongly that I would fight anybody to get this in the top 2. I like it. It's good. I enjoy it way more than the show that was attached to it.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're not going to talk about the actual show.
Yeah. But if what lets us move on is putting a little X by it, then okay, sure.
I mean, obviously, like when it comes down to it, okay, so the other openings are Lupin, Wodokoi. Oh, actually, you know what? It's actually going to be kind of difficult because I think the 3 real contenders here. If we're just gonna take Gegege no Kitaro and be like, we've got Wodokoi, Lupin, and Hinamatsuri. And you guys seem set on Hinamatsuri being number 1.
It would be my choice for number 1. I wouldn't get into a fist fight over number 1 versus runner-up, but
I'm open. Hinamatsuri's opening makes me very happy. It shows off literally every character, and every time they show up, I get very excited.
Yeah. Okay, so the reason there's one thing I don't like about the Hinamatsuri opening, and it's kind of a big thing. I don't like the song. The song itself is just kind of like not generic J-pop, but just J-pop enough where I'm like, okay. It's fine. I like its visuals. I love the use of its visuals in comparison with it, and I do think it's kind of a perfect representation of Hinamatsuri as a whole. But I just never get into it. It's never something that I'm bopping along to, and I usually skip it.
I am every time when that guitar comes in at the end.
I will agree. I don't think the song is as good. Like of these 3 here, the best song is Wodoko's opening. Bar none. That is the best song.
If we want to take Lupin as this classic standby.
Because it's been there, and I gotta agree with you that like I like the flair that this has going on. I like the pomp it's doing, like to give it the French vibe. I think it's really fun, but it's really the animation is what brings that there.
Yeah.
And I think that is probably worth the most merit to me.
Yeah.
I think, but I do not want to undersell Hinamatsuri's animation because that is also incredible throughout that whole opening.
I think the animation in the opening is very solid, but it's also limited. They don't do a whole ton with it.
I think they do quite a bit.
I think they do exactly what they need to do.
Yeah.
And that's fair. Like that's not me damning the opening for not doing enough.
Yeah.
But
if you want my thing, though, I'm cool with cutting Wodokoi because it really is just that one bit at the end that elevates it. I think it has a good theme, and it crescendos here, but the build-up is very slow.
yeah, you see a
Yeah, and then just, holy shit, that's really good. Okay.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's necessary. Sometimes you need that build up for the big crescendo to have its impact.
Yeah.
I can watch half this opening and get exactly as
Yeah,
much
exactly.
out of it.
I found out there's a YouTube video called the Wodokoi opening, but it's just the best part. And it had 200,000 views. It's just those last 30 seconds. That's great.
Yep.
yeah. So jeez.
And between Hinamatsuri and Lupin, I feel like Lupin has a good pedigree. It's a song everyone that watches anime knows this song.
Mm-hmm.
They've heard it, and seeing it with this animation
Oh.
is really special. I think it's really good.
Yep.
I never skipped it. I loved it every time.
Yeah.
For as much as I feel like I was kind of tuning out with later episodes, I was still all in on the opening. Opening's great.
You can't blink or you'll miss that side nipple.
I know.
Yeah, right. I actually freeze framed. I'm like, if they show her nipple, they show her nipple in the opening.
Yeah,
Dang.
dude. Okay, yep. That's what gets my number one because we don't get a nipple in Hinamatsuri.
Thank God. Because
Yeah, I know. Thank God.
Because it's either gonna be underage nipple or Udako nipple, and I don't want either of those. If I had to be completely honest at this point.
Look, let's not shit on Udako too much. There are two big things about her that I still love.
Yes, her personality.
Yep.
And her work ethic.
Yes.
And that booty. Okay, congratulations. Best opening, Lupin the Third. Runner-up, Hinamatsuri.
All right.
They're both very
Is
good.
the next one ending?
The next one's ending.
Okay, so
So starting with the second thing on the list, what we've got is Megalobox, Golden Kamui, Hinamatsuri, My Hero Academia, Sword Art Gunline, Gale Face Together Forever, and of course, looping it back around to number one, Lupin the Third.
Okay, so let's pick second place then.
I mean, that's where I'm at, but I am open to hearing otherwise.
There is no better closing this season than Lupin's. No.
Well, here's the thing. I don't have the no. Listen, I'm not gonna fight you, but I don't have the infatuation you do with it. It's so fucking good. It uses color, motion, animation, song, everything does exactly what it needs to, and it works so well together. It's not something I personally care about.
Okay.
I'm not into the noir Bond femme fatale thing that it's doing.
That's fair.
And that's
its whole thing.
just personal taste because I think everything it's doing for that is all cylinders in just the right ways. The silhouettes, the fluidity, the colors, the song, the everybody at the fucking bar, all great. It's so good. But it just didn't do a whole lot for me. But I will respect and I'm willing to just say, yeah, it probably deserves number one, but wouldn't be my personal one.
I think, yeah, and I get that. I get not being into the tone of it, but for me, yeah, I'm sorry. That is the tone that it hits of that French noir, the use of color. She's walking down the steps when she's looking over the streets, and when she's running down the street, turns around. The beautiful backgrounds, the singing. That's Fujiko's actress, and she's destroying everything in her path with that song. Just that soft, smoky sound. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here other than just sit and weep at its beauty.
I just want Lupin and Zenigata sharing a drink like old friends forever.
that opening scene where where it's mirrored, like I never skip that. It's beautiful. It's so gorgeous.
It's
then,
really good.
And then that final shot where she's sitting and with her legs up, and then she tilts her head, and then oh god, in that opening shot where she's like, "Uso janai."
Yeah, and you see the strap
and the
fall
strap
down?
falls down.
Yeah.
I'm like, ah.
Yeah, that is the most tasteful cheesecake.
Yeah.
Just throughout this opening.
Yeah, totally.
Oh my god, just I don't. Oh, I can't get over how much I love this closing. We're gonna have to set this aside if we're gonna get anything done.
I haven't figured out how to unlock this stupid thing except with my face. Come on, stupid thing. Wake up. God damn it. I've got a new note-taking machine, everybody. I'm sorry. Oh god, now it's upside down.
Hello, Windows.
This is amazing.
Okay, did it. Hey.
Yay.
Yay. Okay. So, vying for number 2, we've got Megalobox, Golden Kamui, Hinamatsuri, My Hero Academia, and Sword Fart.
All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna cut it, but I just want to give it its due.
Okay.
The Megalobox song.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stellar.
Song is great. Fantastic.
Didn't you say that wasn't that the, what other one did they do?
The opening to A Laughing Salesman.
That's
or
right.
The Laughing Salesman.
Yeah, The Laughing Salesman.
Okay.
Because he knew that singer, and I was like, that's really cool.
Yeah. I love the song.
Oh, it's so good.
Visuals are nothing.
Yeah, the visuals are non-existent. Like, so that's really the biggest damning thing for it. But hot damn, every time it comes in going ba ba da ba 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 da ba da ba ba ba. Great. It's really good.
All right. So, Megalobox, strong song, serviceable visuals, probably doesn't make it to the top 2.
No.
We've got My Hero Academia, which I
is
feel is
literally
kind of in the same
exact
boat.
opposite.
Oh, I was going to say.
Oh, no, I think the visuals of the My Hero.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, that's what I meant. Yeah, the visuals are great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The visuals are spectacular. I
Yep.
love the use of the comic book framing, the pop filters, the great character shots. What a good looking closing. The song is sugary and happy, and it's not a bad song. I
Yeah.
mean, I've heard bad songs, but it is also like, okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's fine.
yeah. But I love the colors. The colors are so good. And the group shots we get are I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss it. But I'm hoping the next tune. Then again, the closings for My Hero, the visuals are always good, but the song is always okay.
Yeah.
I mean, oh god, you remember the fantasy one, right?
Oh, of course.
Oh my god, that one was the cosplays are being made of that. I saw a Suyu cosplay from that. I've seen oh man, it's always so cool to see.
Other things that are actually on this list.
Yeah.
And honestly, it being 2 weeks since I've seen any of these at this point, I couldn't tell you a goddamn thing about half of these.
Yeah. And that's the one that you
Yeah.
know what?
And that should tell you something. Except for Golden Kamui, that has some cool imagery to it.
I like Golden Kamui's
Yes.
ending.
Actually,
Yeah.
I actually really like Golden Kamui's ending, both its song and its visuals. I love that long pan. That's beautiful. That's gorgeous. And I love endings like that too. You don't get a lot of them, but whenever you do, just basically one giant image.
Yeah,
That's
I like that.
Yeah, I can dig on that. I can dig on that pretty hard.
I think out of all those there, I think Golden Kamui's is probably the one I would put for second, just because Hinamatsuri's it's fine, but it's nothing stand out to me.
I disagree.
Okay.
I actually really so I love the song because that's the kind of song you would hear at a karaoke bar in Japan. And in that
yeah.
last shot, you get that long zoom out over all the characters that changes over time.
I never watched it to notice that. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, I know. The ending changes just like the opening does.
Okay.
Sometimes it's just Nita. Sometimes it's Nita and Hina.
Oh, cool.
And it adds characters. And even Utiko is gone from a couple of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
it-
That is definitely much more interesting.
Yeah, it's dynamic, it's low key, and I think it fits the tone of the show with its karaoke style like song and delivery.
Yeah, as I'm remembering more about it, I do like Hinamatsuri's. I don't know that I have a strong preference between that and Golden Kamui.
Well, what else is there? Is that it?
Sword art.
I like Sword Art's visuals. I think the
The
song is
visuals are
whatever.
cool. Again, same thing as the opening, kinda. It's like visuals are fine. It's a little generic, but
Well, the thing I liked about it the most is the the half shots you get of characters of the tops and bottoms. And its use of shapes and the digital effects. I actually really dug on that. I thought that was actually one of the most solid of the closings on this list, just because it was clever and creative and visually appealing. But if we're gonna have to go, like for me, if we're going with song and visuals, it's a tie between Hinamatsuri's and Golden Kamui's. Because visually speaking, my favorite one is My Hero, but God, I can barely remember how that song goes. Yeah, that's all I can remember.
So what I'll say in its favor, I think, because I didn't know that the Hinamatsuri cast changed at the ending.
Yeah.
So I only saw it a few times. I always love that. I'll have to go back and see the changes.
I also love its guitar that opens it up with.
Oh
every
yeah,
time.
no, it's fun. I always thought just it was okay, but knowing that it changes, that elevates it in my mind.
Yeah.
That said, if only on the strength of the visuals, if you were to ask me for a gut check, I'd say Lupin Golden Kamui.
I won't fight that.
I think that's fine.
Yeah, I think that works.
Because I do think I like Golden Kamui's song more too.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Best ending, Spring 2018, Lupin the Third, runner-up, Golden Kamui.
Some solid contenders this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're pretty good.
Speaking of visuals, let's talk about the Purtiest Show this season.
Okay.
On this list, we've got Megalobox, Hinamatsuri, Lupin the Third, Legend of the Galactic Heroes, and My Hero Academia.
So this is going to be a tough one because they all excel in different ways.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Counterpoint, Hinamatsuri, Megalobox, let's move on.
I see what you're doing there.
Or if you just want to flip that order, that's fine too. I won't fight you.
See, so Hinamatsuri is an interesting one because so we're going to talk about Prettiest Show, right?
Yep.
Hinamatsuri has the benefit of it's got limited animation for the most part. Never bad. Never bad. But very limited for the most part. But when it wants to go ham, it goes nuts. It's so good. And even there's times where it doesn't need to. There's just some shots where it's like, you don't need to be doing this, Hinamatsuri. You don't need to make Anzu look this bouncy and cute.
Yeah.
But it does, because it's like, no, we are going to melt your heart. We're going to put this ice cube in the goddamn microwave. It's nuts.
Yeah, I think Hinamatsuri beats out, because honestly, that was my proposed one too. I wanted to give props to Legend of the Galactic Heroes for its overall visual style. I think just is immaculate. It's gorgeous. It is the best of what digital coloring can do.
Yeah. It does some crazy stuff in terms of that too. But if I had to be honest with you, I was rarely wowed by the visuals of Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
I loved them. I kept going I can't, that just looks so cool to me, especially with I really like the ships actually.
I didn't hate them. I thought, big CG ships, okay, sure, but they're done well enough and the compositing is good. And the one thing I actually really like about the show is I'm such a fucking spoiled brat. It's why it's hard for me to watch the OVAs because the way the maps look in that are just so basic. And
really?
The maps in Legend of the Galactic Heroes, the new, the new thesis. Oh my God.
They went the extra mile to help envision what's happening for me. And I feel like that is purely visual storytelling. And I liked that.
But on the other hand, there's a plastic sheen all over Legend of the Galactic Heroes for me.
No, and there is. And I think that's personal taste for me, I guess, because that plasticity is in a lot of modern mecha stuff.
Yeah.
It wants to have this shine. Everything is a shiny robot. Everything is a shiny interior, shiny people.
Also, if I had to be honest with you, its storyboarding is not great. It's not bad.
There were some moments where they actually animated stuff that was really fluid and dynamic.
Oh yeah, I loved any time we saw actual real movement in action. I was like, oh damn, that looked way better than I thought it was.
Yeah, when they were fighting people aboard the whatever, the Death Star, like that looked really good. People fighting each other at the camp, the dude slapping everybody, like fluidity.
Punching the
yeah. They had some definitely more than like 5 frames of animation for shit, which looked pretty good.
Yeah, no, it does a good job at it. There are very little visual faults in Legend of the Galactic Heroes, but a lack of visual faults does not necessarily impress me so much. Like, it has some moments to do really well. I'm like, that's cool, but I never feel overly wowed. There are other shows on this list that wow me, that put me like, holy crap, I just watched that. That was amazing.
Yeah, and I think out of that, it's Hinamatsuri Megalobox.
So let's leave. I'd like to leave Megalobox for a little bit later in the conversation because I feel like I'm going to be a sticking point there. But if we,
that's a weird way to pronounce wrong, but okay. Let's give My Hero its due for a second. It's bright, it's colorful, the designs are awesome, the animation is largely good, it's still just shonen.
It is not, okay, I will fight on that only because just shonen would be lopping it in with series like Naruto and Bleach, and it never, hold on. It never looks as bad as those get. And it looks at least as good as the best of either of those. Like, it never falls into melting character territory like Naruto did constantly. They had the time and the talent and the money to make sure that every scene, every shot looked at least a B tier, whereas Bleach and Naruto often, like, sometimes you're like, is that even the same character moving right there? Like, what is wrong with their physiology in some of those shots? So I can't just, like, the worst I'd lump it in with is Soul Eater, and even then, that's also Studio Bones, being Studio Bones.
So yeah, it's better shonen. It's shonen without all that cheap shit.
Yeah,
and that's not nothing, but that doesn't make it the prettiest show.
That makes it a lot, because some of the prettiest shows that we've ever seen are shonen at its best. I'd like to put that out there. Like, that's one of the things that shonen, that's the only reason any of us give shonen the time of day, is that when it wants to, when it can give us action scenes that are out of this world. And if you take away all the negative from that, you get a gorgeous show. You get a show that is visually appealing 90% of the time instead of like 60. At that. So, like, when at its worst, Naruto was like 40% of the time you got good looking stuff. That's impressive. And that's why I'm fighting for it, because I really love the way that My Hero looks and carries itself. It took its time to set itself apart from, like, oh my god, the Resurrection F Saga of Dragon Ball Super.
See, again, what you're saying is, look at all this shit, and it could have been shit, and it wasn't shit.
No, you are the one who wants to keep lumping it in with shonen. And I can show you a majority of shonen that never looks as consistently good. That's why I would not.
Scott, you don't have to keep repeating there are bad shonens out there. It's not, you're not saying anything new and different.
But you are the one who just called it just shonen. I'm fighting that statement.
It's better shonen. It is better shonen.
I'm sorry, dude. I haven't.
I know.
As in so much else that it does, it is a shining example of what I wish shonen were more often. But it's still shonen.
I suppose. I mean, I think its storyboarding is some of the most solid on this entire list. I think its action scenes are unbelievably beautiful, and I think it's got just great design and aesthetic overall. So for me, it's one of the prettiest shows here. Like, and I don't think putting a label on it is going to detract from that. Is shonen or not, it's a gorgeous show.
Can I make an argument?
Yeah.
At the end of whenever I only binge anime right now because of how busy I've been. So the only reason I'll sit through the opening is the first few seconds of the song. If it catches me, then I'll just sit through it. If it's visually pleasing, I'm going to kind of skip it if the song's not good. Hinamatsuri, I never skipped.
Well, we're talking about the animation of the show.
Oh wait, what are we on now?
Yeah,
We're on
we've
Purtiest
The
Show.
prettiest show.
Oh, I have zoned out so hard, just concentrating on like everyone jumping
it's
on
fine,
Scott.
It's fine. No, we're
It's
talking
been
about
great.
we're talking about Purtiest
Hinamatsuri still then.
No,
Okay.
I still think. Trust me, I'm with you. I still think Hinamatsuri.
It's funny because it was going to line up again to be Hinamatsuri and Megalobox. Regardless of the topic.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
No,
Okay.
no, exactly.
But so I think like so let's take My Hero aside for a second because I wasn't even really trying necessarily to push that in the top 2. I was just defending it because god damn it, it's like a gorgeous show. But if we want to talk about like the prettiest show, that's going to be a little bit more difficult for me because Lupin had some beautiful, not only storyboarding but use of its lighting, its
Lighting,
tone.
backgrounds.
Yeah, there are some gorgeous just set pieces in Lupin that I totally like.
Yeah. The environments in Lupin are like, if there's anything that makes me doubt those top 2 on this list, it's Lupin.
Yeah, and that's why for Megalobox, it's so like its character designs are so good. Its line art is gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's and like its backgrounds though always kind of like fell in between for me because they always just kind of looked not like an afterthought. They definitely set their setting very well. They mesh very well with the characters. But I never found myself really falling in love with a lot of the backgrounds like I did in certain other shows, especially like with Lupin.
I will say certain backgrounds, the cityscape where you see the scale of these slums versus this built up beautiful city.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it never had any like good backgrounds or good set pieces. Like again, sometimes it was like that is cool looking. That sets the tone.
Yeah. Now, is that up to the level of Lupin settings? I would know. But for the story that they're trying to tell, for what they're trying to accomplish, it more than does what it needs to, and it comes along with, like you said, these amazing character designs, everything else that it's doing right.
Yeah, and again, in terms of art, this is one of the best shows this season. It's hard to compare any other show in terms of just full on actual art. But for animation, that's where I've always had a problem with this show. I've always felt that the animation was the compromise that they made here. So
It feels like the thing that we're all pretty unanimous on loving above and beyond everything else, because obviously all of these are great,
well, is
But-
Hinamatsuri?
is Hinamatsuri.
My argument against Hinamatsuri is only that it when it wants to look really good, it looks amazing. But those moments, like, it never looks bad. There's not a single part of that show that looks bad. So that's impressive all on its own. I think it's really visually impressive moments, the ones where I'm like, oh my God, that's gorgeous, happen less often. But in that regard, it's weird because it's more of a slice of life, and it kind of abandons its psychic premise for like a good 2/3 of the episode. So you rarely get to have that be a big shining moment. You rarely get to play with that. But when it does, it's usually pretty cool. I love the use of smears whenever she's moving something around the room at quick speed or lifts somebody. So I don't know. Visually, it has that fight scene. Like, oh my God!
But even the least animated, most boilerplate scene still has that awesome color palette, that slightly sketchy style. The character designs are down to earth, yet you always know who you're looking at. There's no same face.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's one of the most impressive things about the show. Is that I know who each character is. I've never made a mistake for anybody. I think one of the only other shows is like Lupin and God help me, My Hero does a good job at making I know who that is.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember their name, but I know who that is.
Yeah, you will never hear me say a bad word about My Hero's character designs.
Yeah. So in Hinamatsuri gets that extra step up by the fact that these are not anime-looking characters.
Yeah.
These are regular-looking people. Hair colors might be a little bit weird, got blue hair going on, but besides that, these are supposed to look like normal people. The fact that they set these characters apart, so good.
What's going through your mind, Kieran?
Not a whole lot. I think Hinamatsuri's still like probably my favorite.
Yeah, for me, it's Hinamatsuri Lupin, because I think Lupin just nailed its visuals more consistently.
I think Lupin does. It is impressive that they have. It's the sort of show, and I've said this before, where it screams, we knew exactly what we had to work with, and we wrung the most out of it.
Yeah.
And that's impressive. I think it is perhaps more polished than Megalobox is, but it's also a style that I've seen a lot. Not necessarily in animation, but it's noir, and it's very good noir. But Megalobox, something about that grungy, gritty, I can almost like grind my teeth and feel the particles of dirt when I'm looking at those desert exteriors.
Yeah.
I gotta give it the edge.
I think it's Hinamatsuri Megalobox.
Right.
Congratulations, Purtiest Show, Spring 2018, winner Hinamatsuri, runner-up Megalobox.
Now, if the next one is what I think it is, this one, I'm wondering if you could just sit out.
Are we talking about best soundtrack?
Yeah. Are we talking about the soundtrack?
We are talking about best soundtrack. We got some shit written down here. Megalobox, Lupin the Third, Wotakoi, My Hero Academia, Aggretsuko, and Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
I love how you listed it in the order of number one and then runner up.
I'm fine with that.
Megalobox,
what is it?
Megalobox Lupin. Although, that being said, it is worth going through the rest of them. But my first instinct is, oh yeah, Megalobox is the best soundtrack, and Lupin's was like the best mood setters in the entire list. But then again, we can't ignore some of the other ones on the list, so we should talk about them.
I know you, Kieran, felt very strongly about Wotakoi's soundtrack.
Oh yeah, that's the best part of the show.
I agreed. I love the soundtrack. It's, you know, you don't notice it till you're watching it, but then
Yeah.
you're like, oh, this tune's really poppy and really beat. Like, I like
can't
this.
tell you how many times I rewound to listen to this one song, and like I haven't checked. I don't know if it's out yet, but God, I want the Wotakoi soundtrack. It's perfect for what it is. There's something about the compositions that just work really well to set the mood, and I don't know. It's just good. It's good music.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah. You say you don't notice it until you're watching it. That must be my problem, because I don't remember anything about that show's soundtrack. I'm more than willing to take it on faith that you say it's good. I don't remember it being bad.
As a musically inclined person, I'm always paying attention to music in like everything.
Yeah. What's the next one?
My Hero Academia. I feel the same way about that one.
Oh, okay, yeah. I absolutely adore the My Hero soundtrack. Oh my God, if it weren't for here's the thing. I'd probably put that up at least number 2, but I know you haven't heard it. But think like the best of shonen soundtracks.
I've seen what I've seen was incredible. I love the soundtrack for what I've seen.
Oh, I know you've heard Just Say Run, I think it is.
I don't know.
Yeah. There's a meme going around that's Just Say Run goes with everything, and it's one of the best shonen songs of all time.
I love whatever fanfare plays with All Might.
You say run.
Yeah. You say Run? Okay, yeah. There's a lot of great tunes in My Hero. If it were up to me, I'd be fighting it for number 2. But I know that you're like, and you haven't heard it, so I'm not gonna try and do that. But
Well, I'm not gonna fight as long as we just recognize Megalobox as number 1. And I'm cool with whatever.
I mean that was.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's arguing against that here.
What were we saying, Tyler?
I was gonna say that I'm really down for My Hero being number 2, but honestly, I can't remember anything other than You Say Run, but I know it's good.
Yeah. All For One's operatic music when he shows up.
Oh, yeah.
That was
good.
haunting.
Yeah. That. I'm I'll throw this out there, and I don't know if you feel differently. I pretty much put Aggretsuko on here just because the music is such a part of the story it's telling. I don't think that viewed on its own, the music is. I mean, it's metal. It is. I don't know if it's good metal because I don't know metal.
It's corny metal for
Yeah.
what this is, but it also works really well because of the thematic relevance that it has to each episode.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
It's really fun. I don't think it hangs in the top 3 or top 2, but
I think it's important to recognize that, but I think we've got stuff on here that fits with the themes and also is just that good.
yeah.
And then we've got Legend of the Galactic Heroes, which is, again, revealing the way I watch things. It fit nicely into the background, but I couldn't tell you much about it.
I think this soundtrack is beautiful and gorgeous.
I love how it uses the piano.
Yeah. I find myself absolutely enthralled. It's my favorite part about the I don't when I find myself less interested in the big spaceship battles, I'm just jamming to this music.
Just the whole, like, I think it was the last or second, I think it was the last episode.
Yeah.
That had that whole, the music in that whole scene was discordant with everything going on. Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, that would be the one exception to what I just said, where it was pulling weight. It was doing work, and it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was very subtle in all the in the ways that the show is. Like, it's very nuanced and purposeful when it's there.
I will say this: when you're in the average day-to-day stuff, I actually don't like the music all that much.
Yeah.
because it's kind of just.
No, it's pretty forgettable. But once they get on ships, it's very good.
And that's what takes it down a notch for me is that it's only good at one part.
Yeah.
But then the rest of it's forgettable. So I'm like,
Yeah.
So we're now back to Megalobox Lupin the Third. Do we want to say a few words about Lupin the Third before we move on to blowing our boner loads?
I don't know what Lupin the Third has really good like tracks, stuff that sets the mood, like sets this noir tone really well, and all its poppy stuff is classic, like horns and I love that. That's what I love out of my Lupin. Like Lupin's music's actually always been pretty solid because it just leans on its jazz and lets it have fun.
Yep.
But that being said, I'd actually nah. You know what? If this were last season, I might be fighting harder to put My Hero up in the last season of My Hero. I'd be
Right.
fighting to put it in
In the 2 spot.
In the 2 spot. This season didn't have as many standout bits. It didn't have a You Say Run. It had the music for All for One, and that was
Yeah.
that was so good.
That was really good.
But
It was also a track.
it was a track, and the stuff for like the song that they played for the big climactic fight was also pretty good. But I couldn't hum it for you.
Yeah.
But so I'm gonna have to. Gosh help me! I'm gonna put Lupin in number 2.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
I think so. I think it works with its themes. It's exactly what it needs to be, but it is not subtle. I think it does it very well.
Yeah.
Now, what do you even say about Megalobox that we haven't said a billion times?
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Have you watched the show yet? What are you doing?
Like I've got my criticisms. The music is not one, never once. Like
Every time that main theme comes in, and it's pretty sparingly. It's just a couple of times, like actually used within the show.
You mean the one that they use after the credits or over, or was it before or after the credits? I think it's after the credits.
Yeah.
Where a episode preview should come,
Yep.
but it's like bum bum ba dun dun bum. I'm like, yes. Anytime that kicks in the show, I'm
Yep.
like, this is the best.
Sachio's rap number.
Sachio's
Yup.
numbers.
Yeah.
So good.
And just in case that wasn't enough, let's have this freaking perfect, brilliant English translation
Yeah.
that rhymes.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. No, it's astounding. It's amazing. And the episode with where Yuri comes down to talk to Joe, and they have there's just that looming, like, really ominous stuff where like these really ominous synths going on where Yuri's like, no, something's wrong. I got to do something. And that was the first time you heard that. I'm like, that's
Actually, I
really
remember
cool.
that.
Yeah.
I also remember when remember when Mikio blows that, like, basically blows the match. Like he goes in there and throws down the ID and is like, "I know what you are." And as the doors close,
the doors close with the music. Oh, it's so good.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, music is part of this show's identity, and you can't divorce the music from the experience.
Oh, absolutely, you can't. It literally is. If I had to be honest with you, it is as much of the show as anything else.
Yeah, and it's so good. It's fantastic. I would say that out of, I don't know if we're ever going to do any yearly roundup, but it's up there with Devilman Crybaby, dude. It's real good.
Yeah, and Devilman Crybaby's score is like one of its shining.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Yeah.
I mean, that's okay,
Yeah,
cool.
that's
Yeah.
best soundtrack, spring 2018, winner, Megalobox, runner-up, Lupin the Third.
Brad.
This next one might be, well, let's just get into it. It's the King's Game Memorial Zombie Award.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We've got written down right now Comic Girls, SAOGGO, and Wotakoi.
Wotakoi. As the guy whose hindsight award was like, I wish I hadn't killed it,
I mean,
considering the both of you, I would have given it another chance. You two seem like you had gotten to that point. It was like,
yeah. I mean, as the person for whom it was most disappointing, I kept waiting for it to do something. And of course, I realized it would never do it if I didn't kill it, because it always does it the episode after I kill it.
Comic Girls, on the other hand, I got way too much entertainment both out of the show and watching you squirm, so I'm not going to name it.
I feel like Comic Girls is a different thing, where it was just we were actually getting something out of it.
Yeah.
And I think it wasn't just the, oh, this is trash, and then, oh, it does something wacky, and now let's see it. Like, I feel like Sword Art is the closest one to that, for me at least.
I would posit that Comic Girls is, in fact, the fact that you still have positive memories of it and still talk about it well means that it is, in fact, still shambling on some level. And so
Okay.
it is, in fact, the longest-lived zombie.
Oh, okay.
But someday,
Yeah.
it'll finally lay down and die, and you'll come back and say, Ben, you were right, and I'm sorry.
Sooner or later, Leon Kennedy is going to get around to it. No, I would say because remember we put it down. We put Comic Girls down. We headshot it. On the other hand, when it comes to say Sword Art,
That was almost my most disappointing one, if only because I knew that the writer behind Kino's Journey was working on it.
Yeah.
And so I had just a slight amount of hope for it, and I feel like I would have gotten more out of it if I was more familiar with the actual source material, because it sounded like they were doing some meta shit with it. But when it came down to it, it was just like, I get what you're doing. I want to believe you have something better in there, but I don't know.
If it's trying to hit a certain chord, it never hit it with me.
You were
Like-
the one that voted to keep it.
When we killed it?
No.
Yeah, well, yeah, but when we killed it, I was like, all right, it's dead. It's
Yeah.
dead. Like, and early on, I thought it was like, okay, it was trying to hit a certain chord with that
Yeah.
last couple episodes, and I'm like, nope.
Oh, yeah.
If this is what you're trying to do, I am not on board.
Yeah.
Like early on, I thought it was going to be about a girl who, who learns to accept herself and find herself through playing a game with other people. And I was like, okay, you know what? I can dig on that. I like our main character. I like Len. I like her design. And I kind of like, I think the game plays fine. And I like the idea. I even like the idea of her meeting like all those little girls being
Yeah. No,
like I was into
was
that.
cute.
I dug on that. I dug that part of the episode. But when I finally realized how batshit dumb that the series was going to get, a lot of people are like, but that's part of the comedy. And I'm like, okay, look.
I wasn't laughing.
No, I wasn't. If I was supposed to laugh, the show did a bad job at making me laugh.
Or we were not the target audience. Like, 'cause
Yeah.
it could have been just the level of nth degree satire, and it went over because I wasn't familiar with it.
There are times I feel 100% comfortable going out of my way and saying, this is garbage. This is one of those times where I'm like, okay, so there's a bunch of people who like it. So while I think it's garbage, I'm not going to empirically say this is a garbage show. I'm just going to say I don't like it. It is not for me, and I mean,
I think if if the spirit of this category is the thing that kept going after its time was up the longest, I think that there was a point pretty early on when we could recognize, and perhaps should have, it's not like this is going to get better. It's not like this is ever going to be for us. We could have just put it down 3 episodes earlier.
Yeah, and that might be Sword Art.
Yeah. I think it might be Sword Art Wotakoi.
Yeah. Maybe Wotakoi for me was just the most disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, it was for me, and I'll own up to that, but...
I think putting down Wotakoi was so... See, that's why, because Wotakoi was so hard to put down. That's the one where I'm like, no, he can be... He can come back. He'll be all right. Please, don't...
Give me that fucking dog. I'll shoot it. I'll serve it for dinner, dude.
Where with Sword Art, it's like, nope, you're done.
Yep. Congratulations,
Yes.
SAO winner of the King's Game Memorial Zombie Award, runner-up Wotakoi.
I personally feel like you could switch either of these two.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's by a hair's breadth,
Yeah.
but...
I think it's by how you look at it.
It is.
Yeah. Because one was the most disappointing one to put down,
Yeah.
but the other one was like, shit, that zombie's been around here for a while.
Yeah, the other one was like, oh, we probably know it's not for us, but I wanted to just, rub it in everyone's face.
One was infected longer. The other one was obviously a zombie, but we're like, yeah.
It's not biting anybody yet, I guess.
Also, let's get real. Comic Girls is horse shit and should have been put down the first week, but I'm not going to win that fight.
Hey, some people don't shit on us for our necrophilia, okay?
I'm
don't
just saying
shame
that
us.
I'm an Everclear kind of dude. I gotta be passed out.
Keep fucking that dead sloth.
We stopped.
So normally this next category would be best finale, and
Oh yeah.
yeah. And I had written down Megalobox and Aggretsuko, but then Aggretsuko got renewed for a second season. So it's Megalobox by default. It was the only one that had an actual finale.
I think that's not fair because if we want to talk like end of a season,
No, that's not what this category is.
okay,
It's the best end of a story. The story will continue.
I suppose so.
Even if it wasn't, I would put Megalobox over it because the final...
Wait a second. I'm sorry. Did we or did we not count Megas Bride?
We did not.
Did we not?
We did not.
I don't remember.
I could have sworn we counted Megas Bride.
I
No,
think
it
I think we talked about it in terms of best episode.
Yeah, it was Inuyashiki and then MMO Junkie. The two that we saw the final episode of.
I guess that's fair.
Yeah. Now, look, if I want to do the prequels never happened thing and mentally retcon the second half of Megas Bride out of existence,
I mean,
but
yeah, maybe that was just a secret part of me that was like, hey, remember how you could have ended it, like the series could have ended there and you probably would have had a better series as a whole?
but that was me saying that in retrospect at the end of
Yeah.
our second season doing this. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I guess.
And we've talked about the ending like this whole time.
Yeah, I don't
more
think we need to beat that drum again. But congrats, best finale by default, Megalobox.
TKO.
Yeah, technical knockout. Best episode. Here's the list.
Episode, let's go.
We can add to it, but God, I hope not. Episode 11, Dead March, a.k.a., by the way, we've said it before, spoilers out the ass, okay?
Oh, yeah, no, this is like,
Yeah.
these are going to be the big story-heavy ones most likely because of these are the best episodes.
Yeah.
They're probably the ones with the biggest impact, and that's that.
Episode 11, Dead March, a.k.a. the one where Nanba loses an eye, Megalobox. Episode 6, Lupin versus the Smart Safe, a.k.a. the goofy dumb one, Lupin the Third, Part 5. Episode 7, His Name is Albert, also Lupin the Third, Part 5. Episode 9, Gleaming, a.k.a. the one with the wailing and the murder boners, Golden Kamui. Episode 11, I didn't find the official name, but it's the one with the murder hotel, Golden Kamui. Episode 11, A Man Thirsty for Blood, Violence, and Money, a.k.a. the one with Nita and the documentary, Hinamatsuri. Episode 6, Nita-san has a dandy dad, a.k.a. the one where Anzu moves out of the homeless camp, Hinamatsuri. Episode 10, Interlude, a.k.a. the one where Falk is a douche nozzle, Legend of the Galactic Heroes. Episode 9, Life is About Survival, a.k.a. Castaway with Mao / Nita Gets Buried in Cement, Hinamatsuri. Episode 12, Leap Over the Edge of Death, a.k.a. the one where Yuri takes his gear off, Megalobox. Episode 6, Until the Last Dog Dies, a.k.a. Joe vs. Aragaki, Megalobox. Episode 7, Lost Memory / Tragedy in the Liquid Room, a.k.a. the one with Subaru's brother, Space Battleship Tiramisu. Episode 49, One for All, a.k.a. the one with the United States of Smash, My Hero Academia. And Episode 10, a.k.a. the season finale, Aggretsuko. And, okay, let's make it easy on ourselves.
Yes.
That last one, the season finale of Aggretsuko, I included because that one was deeply and personally meaningful for me. It has to do with letting your real self out there and realizing that the reason that you haven't been doing that is not because people around you might not accept your real self. It's because some of the people around you, maybe the person you're with, might not be good enough for your real self. And that's something that spoke to me very personally. That said, we've got a lot of strong shit on this list. I'm not going to fight for that one to make the top 2, but I wanted to give it its due. Aggretsuko's amazing. Everyone should watch it.
Yeah.
On that note, you can cut Tiramisu. I wanted to give that one its due because I feel like out of that whole show, that one is encapsulated best what it was going for as the super niche, hyper-focused show that was made for someone like me and is a concept, and in its execution, I thought it was just across the board really fun and feels like something I would have come up with if I had a production team.
I can see that.
It was just really goofy, really, really stupid in all the right ways.
I liked it. I liked that episode.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best episode of the whole show.
That's probably the episode that I like the best.
Yeah. What? We don't...
Yeah.
We got... Oh, my God.
Yeah, we got to get down to 2.
No. Hinamatsuri. There's just so many...
So many good ones.
Why did we write down so many options? Ben, what is wrong with us?
They're so good. Okay, let's keep going with some of these easy cuts.
Okay.
Lupin versus the Smart Safe made me so happy
That
every
made me
moment I
so
was
happy.
watching it.
I had a smile on my face that whole episode.
Funny enough, that's my least favorite episode of the season, of Lupin.
Yep.
I mean, I don't hate it, but it was also the one where I'm like, I can get why people would enjoy this one. This isn't the kind of Lupin I'm here for. But that being said, for the people that did like it, they all loved it.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, slapstick stuff and some great animation.
Yeah, the
But-
animation was stellar throughout that. The performances were just, everyone was insane. And the 2 characters that were there just for that episode were just designed and delivered in such a genuine way that I really liked it.
It really did call back to 1980s anime, and
Yeah.
that's something that I could actually appreciate. Like, I was like, hey, this is exactly what it's trying to do, and it's doing it very well.
Yep. That said, there are episodes on this list that I got at least as much joy out of, but also had something to say.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's top 2 material. I would also posit that His Name is Albert was a fine episode. I don't know that it hangs with the top tier of this list.
For me, the reason that this episode is on the list is ultimately because it is one of the best episodes of Lupin the Third in terms of its visual storytelling, its music, its build-up, its cues
That's
of
the
characters.
flashback one, right?
It's the...
Or is it the one at the start of the...
The start.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, yeah, the start's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the second episode is also very good.
Yeah.
But this is where we get some of the best storyboarding in the entirety of this season.
Oh, totally.
The reflections, the lighting, the camera angles, everything about it. I thought that this was one of the most just technically appealing episodes of Lupin, and it sets up for a really good mystery that gets a little convoluted and too convoluted near the end. But yeah, this was a good setup, a great setup, beautifully done,
meticulously crafted.
Yes, that's a great term for it.
Episode 11 of Golden Kamui, the one with the murder hotel, was another one of those that just made me so happy.
Every part of that was perfect.
Beyond its surface level jokes, its visual slapstick, it introduces Hammerhead to the cast in a beautiful way.
Oh yeah,
it coins a great dumb phrase of Penis Sensei. It gives us these fantastic interactions between all these characters. You talk about when we're talking about ensemble cast and how well certain characters interact with each other.
Yeah.
This is a great example of what happens when this guy meets these guys. The most hilarious conversation in the entire show. That's what. It's not about it's not about the size of the penis.
Does he have the dick of a gentleman?
Yes, exactly. The dick of a gentleman. And the fact that she keeps mistaking the fish cake for the thing in his head. I'm like, "Oh my god."
I love it. The Scooby Doo, like it's just actual ass Scooby Doo door shit going on.
Oh yeah,
it's a simple gag, but I love it. And we get Sugimoto and Hammerhead, like, oh, you're a grappler, huh? Bam, right away. With the auras and everything, just
his center of gravity is below the ground.
And then we get a great, just a tiny bit, but a great, well-animated exchange between the two of he gets a suplex, then a reverse German suplex through the next wall, fall into the torture chamber. And Shiraishi just being nuts.
And this is why we don't have best laugh or best moment anymore, because it always winds up coming up here.
Yeah.
It will get its due.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I brought up best laughs earlier, and I don't think either of them were in these episodes, but I'm glad I did because, this is the funniest season by far.
Yeah.
Crazy how funny and imaginative and fun these got.
Yeah.
Which I think is why maybe Legend of the Galactic Heroes is such a comparison, you know?
Yeah, I know. I feel because it was just so different from everything else. Which I do. I think honestly that's probably one we could cut too. I wanted to have it on there just as the best I think of what was given. Mm-hmm. That was the one that had all of you saw the most of every side. You get to see the most. This is the one that's right before the battle starts. This ends with them shipping out and Yang's we just got to do it. We get Yang.
Oh,
Yang
okay.
being pensive with Julian going, maybe I should have fucked up. Maybe I should have had people die.
And Falk being the asshole.
Yeah. Just realizing that's the one where all the parallels to real world history and politics got driven home. This is
so good.
Yeah, no, it was a very mature look at people dealing with situations that I gotta imagine happen behind many closed doors in real life.
Yeah.
And that was just really compelling seeing how well they juggled because that was one where you got to see every side that whole episode and it was really cool.
Yeah.
It was it felt like 2 episodes in one with how much was there and it was very good.
I remember that. I was like, God, that was all one episode.
Yeah.
Which is not a feeling I usually get with.
No, exactly. Yeah. And that's why I think that episode is that show at its best where you're getting everything coming together and it took a while to establish everybody, but now we're I'm seeing the machinations and the politics and all this stuff.
Why did it have to establish I'm glad it took its time, but it's so long till we have to get more.
I know. I know.
I think we can also cut episode 49 of My Hero. Obviously, it's
a really cool episode. It's one of the biggest of the entire arc. It's got a billion cool things happening, and it's the emotional climax. But only 2 of the 3 of us have seen it, and if I'd be honest with you, it is one of my favorite of My Hero, but
yeah, I mean, there's a reason why we haven't talked about cutting any of the Hinamatsuri episodes yet, because I can't choose which one of my babies to die.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Jesus.
Was there another Golden Kamuy episode? Yeah, there was.
There's Gleaming. That's the one with the whales and the murder boner and the.
Oh no.
And I think again that is that is peak Golden Kamuy as
Yes.
far as
Yeah,
I'm
that is
concerned.
that is everything good about that show.
It's got violence. It's got sexual humor. It's got the fantastic dynamic between all these characters. It's got wild, crazy bullshit happening out of nowhere with animals.
Fun historical lessons. How
Yep.
do we whale in rowboats with harpoons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is kind of like peak Golden Kamuy. I don't think there was a food segment, but if there was,
Yeah. Would have been everything. That said, I'm not sure it was like mind blowing because I think Golden Kamuy's greatest strength is how consistent it is. It is the student that shows up and always gets at least a B+.
where Hinamatsuri is just that straight A student.
Yeah.
Oh, man, are our best episodes? Man,
So I think we might be down to just Hinamatsuri and Megalobox at this point.
Which
Oh my God.
Which, if you want my honest opinion, I think that's apt.
Yeah.
all right, okay. What's the best episode of Megalobox?
Well, what we've got down here are the one where Nanbu loses an eye.
Fuck.
We've got the one where Yuri takes his gear off.
Oh,
And we've got Joe versus Aragaki.
Joe versus Aragaki. Well, here's the thing. It's kind of difficult because I think that story is kind of split over 2 episodes, and it's hard for me because that story, that is one of my favorite things about the entire show.
Yeah, that was
learning
very
about
good.
learning about Nanbu's past and Aragaki. That's what I'm here for. That's what I love.
I think what elevates that, the reason I wanted to put that episode down there is almost exclusively for one scene that got me the most, aside from like the ending of the show, which is Aragaki not killing himself.
And the reason why.
Yeah, and learning why and everything, and how well this show, that episode juggles the flashback and the parallels, and seeing that's like where Nanbu really has a step up.
And it's unfortunate because it's over 2 episodes that
Yeah.
you get introduced to that in the episode prior, and the episode where they actually fight is where you get why that all matters.
I think I never felt as strongly about that story as you guys did.
Ooh, really?
Okay.
Not that it's bad by any means, obviously, but for what it tells us about Nanbu's character and how that informs him as the series goes on, great. As a story just in and of itself, I don't know, I didn't feel that personal deep gut level connection to it. Like I would take, as far as Megalobox episodes go, I would take the one where Nanbu loses an eye.
I mean, that's also a very good episode, and it's got everything. It is. That, you know what? I would go with that one too.
I
It's
think
does that have
that
such as rap?
yes.
Yeah, it
It
does.
does.
Okay,
Because-
well,
Yeah,
All right.
I think that I do want to say that the episode, I still think the penultimate episode is one of my favorites too, where Yuri does get his gear removed, because that's what elevates him to being the antagonist that we voted on.
Yeah.
was honestly that is a culmination that's huge for him and for Joe in that moment, and I don't know.
but I think the scene where where Joe loses the gear during his fight with
Oh,
Burroughs,
I know, it's so good.
And Sachia's rap and Nanbu losing an eye and everything.
And Yuri saying, "Get up, we got to fight."
I'm sorry.
Yukiko getting the ID and she doesn't do anything with it.
That is the most powerful episode in the entire show.
It's great.
And was that the same episode? I think it was the episode before it, with the scene with Nanbu and Sachio in the car.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because at the end of it he puts Sachio in Yukiko's
Yeah,
protection.
that's right. So, yeah. Whew. Okay, getting down to it now. Let's leave the one where Nanbu loses an eye here for a second, and let's look at some Hinamatsuri.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Hinamatsuri, if I had to be honest with you, Hinamatsuri has rarely had a full beginning to end. Like, none of them are bad. Not even, most of them are none of them are anything below good. But a lot of these are a little top or bottom heavy.
Yeah,
Like, a
that's
certain half is better than the other.
Completely disagree.
Oh, really?
Nita's Dandy Dad.
Oh, yeah.
That's the family. We get the yucks. We get Nita's development. Him owning up to
Was that
caring,
the whole episode?
caring. No, not the whole
No.
episode. Because that's why it's so good. Because he cares for Hina. We get that, and then the second half is Anzu leaving the homeless
Yep.
people.
yeah.
And
Yep.
I think those highlight the best what that show does.
And that's why I was actually leading to that because there was only one on this list, and that was the one where both halves are equally like stand
Yeah,
in their own,
and they're
stand on
just-
their own.
They're maybe perfect.
I would say that Life is About Survival. That's the one where the front half is Castaway with Mao
Which
and the
is
back
also
half
really good.
is Nita gets buried in cement. I think those two are perfectly balanced with each other. I think they're both amazing and I love them. I don't think either of them are quite to the 125% level of Nita's Dandy Dad.
I think I think that second segment is dramatically better than the first. I thought Mao's stuff on the island was okay. Like that was one of the ones where I actually started to tune out a little bit because I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. She's lost on the island and she's talking to, like, the way that she uses the dolls is the funniest part, but everything else for me, I wasn't that invested in and was not as funny for me. That's why when we come back to Mal later, it's so much more interesting because I'm like, okay, cool. She's off the island with other people. Alone, I was less into it.
I mean, at the end of the day, I suppose it doesn't matter much because we're still agreeing that Nita-san has a dandy dad, comes out on top.
Yeah.
But I disagree. If anything, I think the first segment of Nita-san has a dandy dad is a 9 out of 10 instead of a 10 out of 10. Maybe a 9.5 out of 10. But the clear standout for that episode was Anzu.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Just
no.
an 11 out of 10.
No,
Yeah.
I'm saying for the other one with Mao and then the cement, I think the cement one is hilarious. That whole segment just kept getting funnier for me.
I agree, and I
Yeah.
think Mao was right up there with it.
Yeah.
But-
That's. And
I'm with you. I thought the Mao show was entrancing. I think mostly because of the change of scenery and how well the backgrounds and stuff worked with it too.
Yeah.
That's fair. I'm just. Anyway, point being, we all agree that the other episode is the stronger one.
Yeah.
There was another one on there.
There is
wasn't
another one, which was the one with Nita and the documentary,
which
which is great.
Nita,
I think-
oh my God, that is. See, what's the other segment though?
That was one of the few that only had the one segment. It was one story the whole time. I'm fairly sure. Let me just double check that. Make sure
Yeah.
I've got my facts straight. Hina.
You can probably
everyone
get it.
quotes Adam. I'm trying to remember if there was something else. I feel like there might have been a Hitomi thing, but I can't remember.
Wasn't that the one where he comes home and Hina's in a box?
No, that's a different one.
Oh yeah, that's
Because that's them. That's after.
that's before that episode, and that's after he gets the.
That's after this. That's after the cement one.
Yeah, that's after the cement one. Is it the same episode? Or is it the beginning of the next one?
I think it's the. Oh, fuck, I can't remember. I think that might be the same episode, with the cement one. Fuck, is it? Oh, I can't remember.
Hold on. No, I don't think it is.
Oh shit! No.
Oh shit!
Oh.
Are you kidding me?
Damn it!
That's the same episode?
That's rough. That's the one where, okay, so the first half is Nita and the documentary. The second half is Nita and Anzu.
Fuck, that's
Shit.
right.
Well,
Okay.
that's it. That's the best one.
I'm glad I looked that up.
I don't know though. dude.
That's the best one. I'm sorry.
Dandy Dad and then Anzu leaving is like. Fuck.
I still gotta go Dandy Dad.
Yeah?
Like, as much as I love Nita and Anzu,
Which is. Oh, that was so good.
Anzu leaving the homeless camp.
Yeah, because that is I think that's an episode that had me laughing so hard, and within 5 minutes I was bawling.
Yeah.
And that is such a feat from any work of anything
Yeah.
that I think that alone is what elevates it for me. But fuck the documentary and
The
Oh God, it's so
Yeah.
good.
I'm sorry, the documentary had me rolling.
Yeah, it was hysterical.
When they're all quoting it to him at the very end, my heart was exploding.
Yeah.
And then the stuff with
No one heard
Anzu,
what.
the payoff for that was so good. But okay, I will say though, it doesn't have the same emotional resonance as the other episode. Like that's the problem. It's like one of them encapsulates Hinamatsuri more overall. But if I had to tell you what hit harder in terms of like overall, like, oh man,
Because it's her leaving the homeless when we get her first day with the new parents, right? Where she's like, I can't accept this, and then
Yeah.
it ends with her like being happy she has a room, right?
Yeah, and the dad, the restaurant owner, telling her like, yeah, you learned all these things from them, and so they'll always be with you, and that's how you, and that's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's.
God, I forgot how much Hinamatsuri could organically pack on a new episode. God damn.
I think I'm gonna have to go with. I still think that it is important to recognize the emotional spectrum encapsulated in that one episode.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the documentary, and then Nita and Anzu, just because
Yeah.
that hits both parts of what Hinamatsuri
Yeah.
is so well.
I agree.
But Dandy Dad has amazing development. His family's so funny.
Yeah.
That scene with Hina just reciting, I'm a middle schooler, I'm 14 years old.
Yeah, it's not like that one was dropping the ball on the comedy either.
No, that was so fucking good. And I laughed so much at that bit. And then I'm crying my eyes out with Anzu.
Yeah.
All right. All right, sure. You know what? Let's take that one then. I think that's the one that we have to choose from Hinamatsuri.
Yeah. And I was looking at these two like, could we have both? Could we have both though? And then I'm thinking about Nanbu and that eye.
Oh no, I think that
It's got to be.
in a perfect world we'd have 3 spots, but that does not exist.
And I think it speaks better for this list not to have both of them be Hinamatsuri
I mean, yeah, but if that was the only concern, then fuck it. I don't think there's anything wrong with having 2 episodes from the same show.
oh, that would just
But in the same way that episode 6 of Hinamatsuri is everything that is great about Hinamatsuri in one big package,
Yeah.
that's exactly what episode 11
yeah.
of Megalobox is for that show.
Yep.
All right. Now,
Yeah. Now we get into the shit.
Of course, if I could say it, the fact that we were considering 2 episodes of Hinamatsuri being number 1 and number 2, I think tells us exactly where it's going to fall.
I know what my heart's telling me.
Hinamatsuri Megalo?
Yep.
Yep, me too. Do you have a rebuttal?
I'm thinking.
You are you are now the rebuttaler.
I'm thinking.
What does the rebuttal? What does the rebuttaler do? Rebuttals. So.
Before I rebutted for you, I rebutted for the Beatles and the Turtles and the Eagles.
I'm trying to think like character development per episode. How much CDPM is there? Character development per minute. We get Nita, we get Hina, we get family.
Character
Okay.
development is not that huge of a factor here.
But I'm just saying for what stands out like the episode and encapsulating everything. I'm just thinking because then we got Anzu doing that, new family, amazing. Megalobox. We get Joe losing the gear. Sachio rap, incredible soundtrack. Yuri acknowledging Joe, helping him out. Yukiko being at the best she is throughout the whole show. Nanbu taking his fucking eye. That was all of that shit in Megalobox was an audible oh shit. Like it just really how much do you weigh the excitement of Megalobox versus the emotion of Hinamatsuri?
Look, the reason I know what hit me more. I know what got to me more. I know what moved me more, and it was Hinamatsuri. And that's not a shot against Megalobox, because it did a fantastic job. There's a reason I wanted to be in the number 2 episode of the season, but Hinamatsuri, like, knocked it out of the park for me just a little bit further.
No, and I think so too. I'm just trying to be fair.
I think, like, as an episode, as being the total package, I might give the edge to Megalobox. But when it comes to, like, what I'm going to remember, what's going to live in my heart, it's got to be Hinamatsuri.
Well, I think that decides it.
Yeah, I think so.
Congratulations. Best episode, Spring 2018, Episode 6, Nita-san Has a Dandy Dad. Runner-up, Episode 11, Dead March for Megalobox. Guys.
I'm content with that.
Yeah, not everything went exactly the way that I would choose if I were the only person up here making decisions, but I do not have any complaints. I'm happy with how it shook out.
Me too.
I mean, I got 2v1 most of the time, but, you know,
I'm sorry.
I ain't sore about it.
You know, we had a lengthy character discussions that I think were pretty fun.
Yeah.
No, I had a good time. This was a lot of fun, if not utterly exhausting.
Yep.
What is it?
Well,
What time is it?
it's time to go eat sushi, in fact. Guys, thank you so much for joining us for this fucking marathon. If you are watching on YouTube, we're honestly not sure whether this will come out before, after, during, when the poll will get dropped. So just follow us at Team 4-Star on Twitter. Head over to discord.gg/Team 4-Star. You can check there. We've got an Anime FMK channel. Check the pinned messages. Stay tuned. We'll figure it out. In the meantime, we've been here all day and we're hungry, and all of us still have more shit to do today. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time.
Later.